old trekkers with that Star Trek jive. Strange old trekkers, let's talk about it live. Strange old trekkers, Eric, Joe, and John. Strange old trekkers, settle in 'cause it's on.
Oh, it's on.
They're the strange old trekkers, come dig what they're doing. Strange new worlds they're recapping and reviewing. Brand new Trek just being...
Hey, welcome to the show, Strange Old Trekkers. I'm Captain John, coming to you live from the... I keep thinking I have it. I keep thinking I've had it. SB80. There we go. The ricketiest of all star bases, and we're proud of that. It's not just me who's on this rickety old star base, being rickety myself. There's, of course, my first officer. Have you met Commander Joe Townsell? How are you, Mr. Townsell?
Captain, I'm doing great. And I got to tell you, that new theme song is A-OK. And that first shot of you, you're all big. Man, I got to tell you, man, that's big as life and twice as purty.
Why, thank you, sir. And let's talk to the man below the below decks. He is our intrepid chief pettiness officer. Have you met Eric Kramer?
Hey! Still stuck in the hole, guys. Still stuck in the hole. How's that cast party? I wouldn't know. Yeah, love the actually I have to say, love the opening now. I think we're probably 3 episodes away from wearing the stepping into Eden costumes, which I'm sure you can find at StarTrek.com.
I would love that so much because they're all like open chested, and I just need that kind of ventilation.
It is summer.
But I don't need that kind of exposure.
And this room's going to start showing sweat stains pretty soon.
There they are. I'm wearing my summer uniform.
John got the summer uniform a couple years ago.
Is it cut just below the chest? Is that?
Yes, it's a midi top.
You got a little halter. Little captain halter going on.
Now I'm gonna have to get a captain's tube top. Let me tell you, I pulled it out pretty nice. Ensign Rosario, thank you for joining us, sir. It is an interesting day when we switch over from doing just any old Star Trek show, which is what we were doing on Retro Trekkers. It is now very interesting that we are focusing on Strange New Worlds. Now, of course, this is the episode that ended season 2. And season 2 of Strange,
which ended what, 3 years ago?
Yeah, 2. Long enough.
Yes, it is a slow going
episodes, 3-year break.
Honestly, this was the right time to join. It's like when I sat on Squid Game season 2 forever, and I watched it like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, dude, Squid Game 3. Have you seen it?
I've seen the first episode, but that's it.
It's so good. You want to talk about a show that got consistently better?
Yeah.
Each season?
Yeah.
3 goes to like some insane places. I couldn't stop watching it. I binged it in 2 nights.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Eric, let's talk a little bit about Strange New Worlds. Now, Joe and I have tried in the past to do a show on Strange New Worlds, but life got in the way. Here we are to begin season 3, watching the very last episode of season 2. Overall impressions, Mr. Kramer?
Of where we've come so far?
Yes.
Let me just say, let me get my diplomacy cap on here. I was really, when I first heard when I first heard that they were bringing this show on and that we were going back to sort of the original model, you know, I was so excited. And look, overall, I think it's a really good Star Trek show. I mean, it's
good.
Overall, I like it. There are some things that I just wish they wouldn't do. But overall, very, very positive impression of Strange New Worlds.
I'm so glad to hear that, because I feel the same way. Joe, you have very positive feelings, but kind of complicated feelings as well about Strange New Worlds. Is that fair?
That is fair. I'll tell you this. Season 1 to me outshined season 2 considerably.
I agree.
I agree. There is season 2 contains an episode that I still find unwatchable, and I've never seen it entirely, and that is Subspace Rhapsody, the musical episode. I think it's
God, so painful to watch. But but you know what? I gotta give them credit for for effort.
Yeah.
But it was just so out of place with everything else that was going on that it really,
Well, I also think in season 2, they dived a little bit too much into poking fun at Spock, making him the butt of the joke, which I think we're going to get more of in season 3.
Yeah.
And,
I'm not a big fan of that.
Absolutely. Like, what happened to Spock in season 2?
Yeah. And plus, there's a big ripoff, which we're going to talk about tonight.
You got a new hairdo. We know that.
I think the things that I like are how they put emphasis on characters, and in this episode that we're talking about, which is Hegemony. I got to work really hard to pronounce that one right. Hegemony Part 1. That is the final episode of season 2, and that, of course, is the episode we're talking about tonight. I love that we're meeting Mr. Scott. Scotty is one of my favorite characters. I have been very happy with Uhura. I feel like the focus on Nyota. I call her Nyota because we're friends.
Oh, of course.
It's lovely to see some of these characters. I'm happy to see Sam Kirk, frankly. A lot happier to see Sam Kirk than I am Jim Kirk.
Can I just say I agree with you? The brother character, when I first saw him, I was like, ooh, but boy, have I warmed to him. Like big time. Like, keep that mustache, buddy. Work it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, he's like, oh my God. I've really come to enjoy that character.
And I can tie it into what we're going to be talking about tonight by saying that this Nurse Chapel is not my Nurse Chapel, but she is a Nurse Chapel that I like. And maybe I feel this way about Spock a bit too. I mean, honestly, I feel like Ethan Peck is great.
Mm-hmm. I like him better than Quinto personally.
There isn't there isn't an actor I dislike in this. I get where my issues come with how they get treated.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes,
right.
But they're all solid actors. They're all they're all contributing. They all create a very individual character.
And going off of that, they do complete a picture together, and I like it. I don't love everything, but I do like it. And that allows me to give the show a chance, every time I'm watching an episode. Though I will admit, the musical episode.
Yeah. Hopefully we never see that again.
I don't think we're going to see that. I mean, and we'll talk more about what might be coming in season 3, but I have to take some value from what Eric has just said. got to give him credit for trying new things. And I sometimes forget that, if it leaves me, at least a sour taste in my mouth. But boy, there were a couple of clunkers. I predict there might be one or two in this coming season, but you know, they are trying new things. And I do like, I'm sorry, but I'm a strange old Trekker. I like episodic Trek. Right. You know, continuing story threads are great, but all serialized, not so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, we should get started. So let's start with our first segment. Let's talk about Genesis.
Into Eden. Hey, brother.
I didn't even think about that.
It's right long.
Hey, brother.
All right. This is A Strange New Worlds. It is the 10th episode of the second season. And of course, the second season, part one, we're not seeing the conclusion yet. This is actually nice, isn't it? That they're doing this in this series the way they would always do in the syndicated series, where they would end on a cliffhanger. And then hopefully you'd get to the part two and you get to hear Majel Barrett's voice. Previously on Star Trek Next Generation. I actually asked my wife, we did a cliffhanger episode on Retro Rangers, was it, Joe?
It was.
And I asked my wife to do her best Majel Barrett impression previously on Retro Rangers. And it's just one of my favorite jobs she ever did for me.
Totally
okay. This first aired August 10th in 2023. So yeah,
God, it feels so much longer than that.
It was written by Henry Alonzo Myers.
It just feels like forever ago.
It feels like forever ago, honestly. I feel bad for anybody who's been waiting that long. This week was the first time I watched this episode, so that worked for me. Hegemony was directed by Maja Vervilo. There are not enough vowels in that name, Maja. Leaves a big cliffhanger. What did you guys think of the new Gorn? Let's break the glass on that one. Let's talk about these Gorn, because
alien ripoff. I mean,
oh my God. Well, I mean, obviously, right? I mean, almost down to the plot line, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. It's this poorly protected colony in space where it just happens to look like, Eric, would you say this was 19? No. This would probably be 2014 Saskatchewan.
Toronto. Actually, it looks like Yonge Street. But anyway.
It does look like Toronto.
Like, come on, you've got a budget now. Like, if you even have to explain what it after in the intro.
Right.
The very first show I did with you guys was the was it the Kronos episode? Or no. Was it with why have I suddenly forgotten the name? But it was the theater company, right?
Oh, that's right.
Season
Conscience of the King?
Conscience of the King. And I remember remarking that, like, they, the doors had handles on them. I'm like, come on, guys. Like, you made it work on the Enterprise. Like, just have somebody behind the flat just slide one open.
Oh God.
So I get, look, I get whatever backlot, whatever they were using. Like, I get that it's there and I get that it's cheaper, but we are supposed to be, a little further down the road.
Well, they're still trying to do it
down to boarding up the windows after the attack. I'm like, okay, guys, come on.
I'm sorry, Joe. What were you saying?
No, I was going to say they're still trying to, update their doorknobs in the Starfleet Academy in the Wesley episodes. So even in the 21st century.
All right, friends. Oh my gosh.
Some technology you just can't improve on.
Okay. It's let's go to the second segment of our show.
May I share the anecdote about before you run it down?
Sorry. It's so hard to find the volume button. I'm one of those men.
No, I just wanted to share a quick anecdote about the preparation for this segment.
Oh, please do.
It's just, John and I both been struggling for like a week pronouncing the title of this episode, and next week its conclusion, Hegemony. Now, in preparation of the beats, it's going to be very quick and down and dirty because we're doing a day of the episode, and so there's no editing time, which is great news for John, But so I'm just gonna power through it, and if I flub here and there, it's no big deal. The only part I do over and over again was the very beginning, because I get to that stupid title and I go, oh, shit, start again.
That's hilarious, because when I heard you pronounce it, I was like, that's so confident. Good for him.
Yeah, after 6 attempts.
All right, let's take a look at the beats on this one.
Next week, strange old Trekkers recap and review the first 2 episodes of Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3. But first, a look back a long time ago in the galaxy far, far away. The Season 2 cliffhanger finale, Hegemony. Parnassus Beta is a quaint little 20th century style human colony at the Federation border. The USS Cayuga has dropped by to see if the colonists need anything. Captain Maria Battelle, Pike's main squeeze, is leading a landing party. Nurse Chapel is tagging along, having hitched a ride to her fellowship with Dr. Roger Corby, future maker of lurching androids. Chapel's FaceTime chat with Pike is interrupted by a Gorn attack. And these aren't your granddaddy's rubber-suited Gorn. No, sirree Bob. Enter Admiral Robert April, first captain of the Enterprise. He warns Pike to proceed with caution. Being too aggressive could piss off the Gorn. Pike thinks it's a little too late to worry about that. The Gorn mean business and are drawing their line in the sand. Pike is ordered to not cross that line. Foreshadowing at its best. No point in sending orders to the Cayuga since it's already been blown to smithereens. All that remains is a demolished saucer section and random debris. Further complicating matters is an asteroid belt nearby. The Gorn have activated a jamming field, which blocks transporters and transmissions back to Starfleet. Clever lizards, those Gorn. Pike orders the welding of debris to the outside of a shuttle, disguising it as just another hunk of junk. An away team of Pike, Ortegas, Mabinga, La'an, and Sam, the Kirk brother with a cheesy mustache, all go planetside. Meanwhile, Number 1, Spock and Uhura stay on board the Enterprise. They are tasked with scanning the Cayuga's wreckage. Busy work like that. Spock is worried about his new girl, Christine Chapel. But it's not looking very good. The Cayuga sickbay has been completely blown away. Uhura and Pelia find the source of the Gorn jamming signal. It's a tower erected near the colony. They all hatch a plan. Hatch. Get it? It's confirmed that the Gorn are ignoring the Cayuga's wreckage. So, the Enterprise Trekkers can remote control its saucer section and crash it into the Gorn jamming tower. Spock suits up for some space travel and heads to the wreckage to plant thrusters on the saucer section. Pike's team enters the colony, evading Gorn and locating a human life sign. It's a lizard trap set by a certain miracle worker engineer, Montgomery Scott. He serves aboard the Star Diver, which was also sucker punched by the Gorn. Scotty was the only one to escape with his life. Scotty takes him to the nearest human survivors, including Captain Battelle. Well, she's pissed at Pike. She opines that his rescue mission is doomed to failure and her boyfriend has now endangered even more lives. Scotty says, well, there's no use crying about it. The unlikely trio head to Scotty's shuttle. Upon reflection, they conclude that the coronal injections the Star Diver was investigating somehow made the Gorn even more wacky. While there, they are threatened by a Gorn hatchling, which turns away when confronted by Battelle. Well, she reveals she's been infected with chest-burster eggs, or in this case, forearm-buster eggs. Well, since she's going to die in lizard birth anyway, Battelle insists on making a heroic sacrifice by flying the shuttle into the jamming tower. Aboard what's left of the Cayuga, Christine Chapel awakens in one of the few remaining habitable areas of the ship. She spots the Enterprise in the distance. Oh, cool! Well, then she spots Spock passing by the window. Super cool! Chapel puts on his spaceship to catch up to him. The two are reunited on the bridge, where Spock installs the last needed thruster. After a brief tussle with a Gorn scavenger, Spock and Chapel steer the Cayuga's saucer section and it destroys the jamming tower as originally planned. Well, time to get the hell out of Dodge. Pike orders exfiltration by transporter. Battelle is beamed directly to sickbay, where Chapel works to stabilize her and remove those bothersome eggs. Meanwhile, Pele is delighted to run into one of her most promising students, Scotty. The reunited duo rush to engineering with the Gorn IFF to see if it can be used to Starfleet's advantage. Oh crap! The rest of the colony survivors, along with M'Benga, Sam Kirk, and Ortegas, never make it to the Enterprise. They were instead beamed out by the Gorn. Well, at least we know that M'Benga and Sam Kirk survived to appear in the original series. Well, that is, unless this show takes a dump on continuity. Again. Well, it's on, baby! Gorn ships attack the Enterprise. Uhura reports that Admiral April has ordered the Enterprise to withdraw. Number One asks Pike for orders. Pike looks a little uncertain of what to say next, as if Anson Mountain has forgotten his next line of dialogue. To be continued. In 2 freaking years. That's it.
So there we go, my friends. Hang on, let me dump that out. And that, of course, gets us into the third segment of the show. Oh, yeah. So let's talk about every little thing, every impression you had. First off, let's give some major ups to Mr. Townsend for those beats, because I'm going to be posting those. I'm going to be posting those visuals everywhere.
Oh, well, they're there for you. So thank you, sir. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun, and like I said, I'll definitely search in Gorn Hub for all 3 of us.
Yeah, Gorn Hub is seems pretty groovy. I like that.
My favorite was Gornicologist. That
Oh, well, thank you.
nicely,
That did a pretty gruesome job there.
nicely laid in. Nicely laid in.
It was, oh man, I mean, okay, I have to start off with Raphael's comment, which is the new Gorn design reminds me of the giant ants from the 50s film Them.
Oh my God.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's a great comparison.
They look less like dinosaur people and more like ants, at which point you could have just introduced ants. You didn't have to take something that was already existing and turn it into something new. You could have. Right. So, because I love the old Gorns. I love I love the slobbering and the growling, how hard it is for him to walk.
Yes.
all
I
of this.
mean, okay. So granted, you could have improved on that. What you know what I mean? You could have made him a little more mobile. I
Yeah.
love the yeah. You remember the old commercial with Kirk and the Gorn or Shatner and the Gorn when they're playing the video game and they do that? They recreate that fight. Fuck.
Yes. I mean, why would you want to get rid of that?
Here's what makes the Gorn work is that one, he's formidable.
Yeah.
And there is a and it comes accidentally because they couldn't, whatever they used, the sparkles they used for his eyes. It makes it what is the word that I'm looking for? It makes it soulless a bit. You know what I mean? It makes it a killing machine in the same way that Geiger's alien works. Am I saying his name right?
Yes.
Geiger, right?
Geiger.
The same way that alien works is that the sort of the lack of eyes, but man, that mouth and that head shape just makes it soulless and makes it completely formidable.
Yeah.
The Gorns now are like, what are we doing? Especially with like the baby Gorns now. Like it's all just kind of it just doesn't work. I miss the I miss my bulk.
I miss your Gorn.
Big old bulky Gorn. What was
I
wrong
think Derek
with
makes
that?
an excellent point about the eyes. I mean, the old expression, eyes are windows of the soul. Those windows are closed. That fucker's just, he has a mission to get Kirk. And once again, like as Eric points out, or I think maybe John did as well, why not something new? Why attach an old name to something new? They did it with the Klingons. It was ridiculous. They could have just invented another adversary.
Absolutely.
And it only invites comparison, which is never going to be favorable. And plus, I'll tell you, Enterprise 20 years ago, the series Enterprise, attempted to do a CGI Gorn.
Yeah.
They should have learned their lesson then. Yeah. I mean, what's wrong with upgrading practical makeup effects for a new Gorn?
I don't know. I mean, so much of it felt like, and I don't say this as an insult, really.
Yeah.
So much of it felt like a video game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, oh, we fought off that Gorn. Well, yeah, but that's only a level 1 Gorn. You haven't met the level 5 Gorns or the level 10 Gorns. I mean,
it's listen, I again, this is all just here's like all my criticisms are coming from the place of if I were an actor on the show. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, look, the decisions are made, but if I'm an actor on the show, I'm sort of, especially when it comes to character questions, it's like, well, wait a minute, why suddenly are we doing this when we did this before?
Right.
And I get that. I get that in the planning. It's like, well, let's take the Gorn, but let's make them like the Borg. Let's try and make them even more like, and let's make them a real threat. But in trying to do that, they've actually made them less scary.
Right. Because I felt what was really what you wouldn't, well, I guess maybe they've kept it. What you wouldn't want to take away from the original Gorn is how physically so much stronger and so much formidable than us soft humans, And look, I'm gonna go. Oh, that's actually a great thing to throw in there, Raphael. And they were very relentless.
Yes,
it's the Michael Myers. You can run, but he's just gonna keep coming.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I'm kind of a dork this way, so let me apologize. But mammals on our planet evolved. And then eventually people were produced. And we've been on this planet for thousands of years. But dinosaurs were on this planet for millions of years.
Yeah.
And the whole lizard people thing actually has some like science to it. Like those millions of years, they could have evolved into bipeds like us. They could have evolved to have a language. They could have evolved to have, ways of sheltering themselves.
Voyager actually had that concept in an episode.
Oh, well,
they met evolved dinosaurs that evolved the way you described.
Yeah, I mean, that's, the Jem'Hadar in DS9 are pretty much dinosaur people. Like, they're dinosaurs. And I love that. That could have happened. But what they've done with the Gorn in this is made them more bestial. Now I want to turn right around. I want to turn right around and I want to say, I like what they're hinting at right now, which is that they have this physiology where, like cicadas, they can be excited and they can swarm, and they maybe don't have a brain that says stop doing that. They're more prehistoric in their sort of urges, and that makes sense in a space drama. Not every race has like, well, I'm going to be discreet, or, I can fight off my biology. Apparently the Gorn is not discreet and cannot fight their biology. They are driven by bestial, nature. And I like that. So did that work for either of you guys as well? Joe, let's start with you.
Well, sure. I mean, I have no problem with the concepts as laid out here. There are two things I have to get over. One of them, again, is the elephant in the room. The similarity to the Alien series is just undeniable.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to get past that. Plus, another thing that it's hard for me to overlook. It actually, I guess, was a good thing in terms of drama. But my God, they used these Gorn to kill Himmer in season 1, a character that was just getting interesting, and was replaced by a much inferior character. I'm sorry, Carol Kane, but hell yeah, no, not loving that. So so if I can put that aside, I will say yes, I can see the effectiveness of it. But again, it's been done before, and much better with the Alien series and other species within Star Trek. Sorry.
I think, like, I don't know. It remains to be seen how that plays out. What it does for me is it kind of fucks with their purpose.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like back in, I know we're a bunch of old guys. I know we're going back to the original series a lot, but that's where the fucking Gorn were created.
That's what they're doing.
Gorn were like, we're fucking attacking this place because you're encroaching on us. And now the Gorn just feel like, it just feels like Alien. Like I'm waiting I'm waiting for them to get on the Gorn ship and find all the eggs, in a sea of mist. I mean, even that tail coming down anatomically is the what is the creature called in Alien? There's a name for it.
I've only heard xenomorphs.
Xenomorphs, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's the same. My God, it's the same shot. Like I can't begin to tell you how many shots are identical from that movie, and it's kind of cool if you're paying an homage to that. I don't think that's what they're doing.
Well, there's homage and there's ripoff. I mean, there's a line to be crossed.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, maybe over time there'll be more developed.
I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I think you get into it and it becomes an homage. Because let's face it, Aliens scared the shit out of all of us.
Yeah.
Right. So why not? So steal from the best.
Well, the one thing benefit I'm going to give them at this point, we know now that we have a few seasons left on this show. we had a feeling, John. We'll carry on until can you get it squared away. But Eric, what I was saying was that the Gorn are obviously going to be an ongoing threat. I'm hoping that they will evolve the concept of the characters within Strange New Worlds to build on it and to be more unique and more substantial.
That's what I'm hoping too, because you get hints of that. You get hints of that with Pike going, oh, wait a minute. Maybe there's another way to communicate with them. Maybe, maybe their actions are indicating this and not, So yeah, I mean, that's my hope. That's my hope too, because I know we get into criticizing this stuff. I do like the series,
Mm-hmm.
I just, it's like anything. Some, there are just some things that I just wish they wouldn't do, but that's just my personal take,
Yeah. Well, and there was a hint in this first part of the two-parter that something they were doing on the Stardiver with Scotty was somehow, instilling some of those instincts to be on there, even their own control. So maybe we'll get more of that in part 2. So they're not just mindless killing machines. We'll see.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping this evolves, that if they do become, the ultimate enemy, the Borg of, the Borg of this series, that it becomes, that it evolves into something more than, just killing and breeding machines.
Yeah, because we've only seen them. This is what I'm going to say it's our third or fourth appearance of the species as.
Really? It feels like more.
It does, doesn't it? But it's not that much. We got them twice last year and twice this year, meaning season 2. Let's see how John's doing here.
We got John back. I think he's staring at our lips, but I don't think he's hearing us. He's shaking his head.
I'm sorry about that, John.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping, my God, they've had 2 years. I hope it takes a bit of a reset and heads in a stronger direction.
Right. Totally agree. I'm kind of getting myself set up here so I can maybe prompt John a little bit. So we're going to
get my guitar and we can finish this. Finish the podcast off right. How do you?
I just might maybe give him the signal we can go on to our next topic, which might be MVPs.
Yeah. How do you feel about where all the characters are now? Like favorites, like which storylines, which character storylines are you most attached to right now?
I like where we're heading with Nurse Chapel. The fact that we're going to get Roger Corby as a presence in the upcoming season. I think that's very interesting. Getting his backstory along with her. We've only seen him once. I would love to see what they do with Cybok. They introduced him briefly.
Yeah.
With some intention. Let's see that. I hope in season 3 somewhere. Again, I'm not wild with the Pelia character. I'm a big Carol Kane fan. But here I'm just not loving it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I kind of hope listen, I don't think actors should copy other characters. I would like to see the Scotty character go a little more in the Simon Pegg direction.
Really?
Like he just feel like, I mean, they've set him up as the guy who can sort of fix or create anything, or, he's the professor on Gilligan's Island right now. He can give me a couple of coconuts and I can disguise the shuttlecraft from, I can make it think it's another Gorn ship. But I would like, and I think this is sort of my overall sort of criticism of the show, and what I really miss from the first incarnations of this, even back to The Cage and the first Star Trek, and even Star Trek The Next Generation. There was a decided chain of command that I'm missing in this episode, in this series. Do you know what I mean? It
I
feels
think I know exactly what you mean, because
everybody's on the same level. And
there's a little bit too much flippancy, especially on the bridge.
yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
You know,
Yeah,
not insubordinate. They all, like and respect each other, but
exactly.
Pike
But
is too laid back sometimes.
oh my God, like Pike just seems like it. What they did to Spock, it feels like they're doing to Pike. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like when and some of his actions are like when he beams back aboard the ship and he sees Chapel, and he like runs over and hugs her, and she's just kind of standing there awkwardly. I'm like, don't do that to the captain of the show. Don't, you know what I mean? And the whole, like, I get that it's a cliffhanger. I get it's all sort of Captain, what do we do? But to have him like standing in front of the view screen, like, what I get they're setting up the cliffhanger, but like his indecision goes on for about 2 to 3 minutes.
It does.
before
And
we get to be continued. I would like to see a little more of the Pike from the cage in the menagerie. Like, I would like to see a little more of that captaincy. Do you know what I mean? Like a captain who's aware of what his position needs to be, and maybe not so buddy with everybody, and maybe not so flippant. Like a little bit of that is fine, but it just is starting to feel like the tone of the show now.
no, I completely agree, Eric. And I'll give you an example. We recently, the three of us, looked at The Enemy Within, and one of the key aspects of that was Spock telling Kirk, "You can't let the crew see you in a vulnerable state."
Right.
And that's all we see with Pike. As a matter of fact, I have it on good authority that the first few minutes of this cliffhanger part 2 is going to be Pike asking everyone on the bridge, "What do you think we should do?"
Oh my God.
I hope that's not true, but it sounds right.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I just, you want to see that guy, because if you get that, then you get him sort of tortured over decisions that he has to make. You have to get him. But right now it just sort of feels like everybody's sitting in a pub. We had mentioned this before about previous Star Treks, about there was sort of this military feel to it.
right.
Like there was a definite chain of command that you felt ran through the ship. And I feel like that's what this Enterprise needs,
Yeah, I totally agree. And further answering your question about character arcs, I got to tell you, I really am enjoying the performance of Celia Gooding as Uhura and the character arc for Uhura.
I really dig her. I think she's great.
I think she's great. The character arc they're developing and will continue to doesn't smack in terms of discontinuity to me as far as later Uhura.
Right.
Which is good, but it's just like, it's good to see how she got her start, and it melds well. I mean, I think she's the most efficient person on that bridge, honestly.
Yeah. No, I really like that character a lot. And I like number one. I would like to see, I would like to see her a little more aware of what her position is on the ship, like just everybody that's in charge. I would just like to see a little more, a little more leadership.
There you go.
Out of the people who are supposed to be leading. And then you can leave the wackiness and the flip, like what happens normally in those situations.
Eric, we're going to take a commercial break to give John another moment. So here we go.
Let's do that, because I'm tired of hearing myself talk.
Well, never me, but that way he'll get another couple of minutes here to get something going there. We'll be right back, folks, with more Strange Old Trekkers. Well, we're back. Oh, here we go.
Let's watch. Well, here we go. Here we go.
Weber Internet thingy. Weber Internet thingy. Weber Internet thingy. Come on, check this out. Weber Internet thingy. Weber Internet thingy. Weber Internet thingy. The good times are never in doubt. Weber Internet thingy. Come on, enjoy the fun. Weber Internet thingy. We've got the blues on the run. Get away from that big mean world and come have lots of dumb fun. Get away from that big mean world and come have lots of dumb fun.
Oh God, Spiderhead made it. Oh my God, it's just me. Hey guys. Holy shit. I almost had to pull up my Rocky Horror song.
You can only laugh, right? I'm pulling my keyboard back on my little shelf here, and I hit the key to boot myself out of Windows.
Oh my God. Nice to have you back, Mr. Weber.
Yes,
I don't
sir.
suppose I can be heard.
You are,
can be
you are
heard.
being heard.
And you are heard.
Can you hear us?
I can't hear Eric though.
Oh God.
Okay, so Eric's mute to you. How about me?
No, I can hear you.
You can't hear me?
Eric, could you step out and step back in?
I could. Here, watch me do it. Don't you dare talk about me when I'm
I can only guess what the problem is that there was an update for Chrome that I did not do.
Oh, geez.
But this has never happened before. Oh, good. Eric's back.
I mean,
right. I have
think we
to
can go
go
to
back to Pike.
MVPs.
Can you
when
hear
you're
me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Ball back. John, I think we're ready for MVPs if you are, sir.
Oh, I didn't work very hard on my MVP this week. It's Christine Chappell.
Oh, hey.
I love Jess Bush. I love her. I have a crush on her, even bigger than my Majel Barrett crush.
You didn't just use her name as a possessive article, did you?
Is her name Jess Bush?
It is.
Yeah.
I'm not just a strange old trucker. I'm a dirty old trucker.
Okay, so that was MVP. Did we do tidbits yet?
No, we haven't done that yet. We always typically do that for last.
I'm just so grateful that you guys are so entertaining that I could.
Oh,
completely...
dude, you were hanging on by a thread. Let me tell you.
No, we had to go back and listen later. Time to have a great chat about
panic like that. I can't shut up.
That's a superpower, Eric. That is an actor's superpower.
And then when I was 6.
So do we have any tidbits, Mr. Townsell, for this silly episode?
I've got 2.
A pair. He's got a pair. That's better though.
I got a pair of tidbits. Okay. Well,
Are
one
they
of them is
firm?
related to what you guys should know about earlier. The Colony Town was filmed in Pickering, Ontario. Thank you very much.
Oh,
That
Pickering.
sounds about right.
Yes, indeed.
Sure.
Same locale as Reacher
What?
and the film It from 2017. So there you go.
Wow. Pickering's really come up in the world.
Yeah, about that.
The Hollywood of Ontario.
And actually, I got two. I thought this was interesting from IMDb.
Yeah.
This version of Scotty, which I actually enjoyed quite a bit. Eric and I were talking a little bit about the characterization.
Oh, I
there.
know. I like him. I like the direction he's going. I would just like them to push it a little more.
And I do like the characterization versus Simon Pegg. I mean, he is a true Scotsman, so that's a big part for me.
Yeah, no. I mean, look, sounds great. Good actor. There's just sort of an obsessiveness and a little bit of ego's the wrong word, but I just sort of there's a bit of a I can do this-ifness. All right, MVP, everybody.
Derek, I think what am I looking there? Maybe at this point in Scotty's career, a youthful exuberance. Maybe is that correct?
Yeah, everybody's a little too youthful, though. Do you know what I mean? And you and I had touched on this,
right?
Like, look, I want to believe these suckers can pilot the Enterprise into battle. You know what I mean? I shouldn't be worried that they, can at least plot the right course to get to Jupiter. Like, everything seemed like they should be, like, all the people on the Enterprise are trained to the nuts. And I would just like to see a little more of that and a little less think you can do it. Like, you know what I mean? Again, that whole John, we were just talking about level of command.
Yeah.
And I would like to see the leaders be a little more like leaders and captains and first officers, and maybe not quite so chummy with everybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
It feels like a bit of a fraternity on the Enterprise right now.
Exactly. And, look, we've had this conversation. There is nothing inherently wrong with everyone in the, senior staff being a woman. But it's like, I need ideas. Charlotte, Emily, like they used to call them by their last names. Mr. Sulu, you know what I mean? Like, and so, like, yeah.
Well, I mean, what happened to the days of, okay, Mr. Savick? I mean, come on. Everyone's the same.
Yeah, I mean, there was a whole, there's a whole, like we were just talking about, there's a whole chain of command that I'm really missing in this show. I don't know if you heard, but the prime example was, for me, was Kirk getting out of the transporter, seeing that Chapel's still alive, and he runs over and he hugs her like,
right.
Like, and then instead of like hugging him back, like she stands there and goes, "What the fuck is happening?" Like, is there any? Can you make your captain less captainy, as opposed to and then to like zoom in on the worried face in front of the monitor before you cut to be continued?
There's a softness that they like to put on Pike, and we just watched the Menagerie on Retro Trekkers. And it was a great episode, and if you haven't seen it, you should go back and watch it. But it was so clear that Captain Pike was military.
But military, but also a leader, like knowing what his position was. Like Joe brought up a great moment of one of the Star Treks that we encountered when Spock was talking to Kirk back when it was the Enemy Within. That was the one, yes. Mm-hmm. And Spock goes, the one thing you can't show them is the one thing you cannot show the crew is weakness.
Right.
Like you need to be a leader. You need to be the captain. And part of that comes with, my God, he has that. Russell Crowe has that great speech in Master and Commander, where he talks about life on the ship. Where he goes, "Don't you see it? Don't you see how, in that case, it's a ship full of men, obviously, but it's like men need discipline. They need, and when he's given, why have I forgotten the guy's name? I've only seen this movie 100 times. One of my favorite movies of all time, by the way, Master Commander.
Very underappreciated overall by movie fans. I honestly,
God, it's such a great movie on so many levels.
Yeah.
But he says, you can't be their friend. They'll lose respect for you, but you can't be, what is the line? You can't be a dictator either. Like there's leadership, there's a line in leadership.
I'm going to say a name. And this name should absolutely answer the question, how should you be? Riker.
Right.
Riker is a challenger. He is he can be intimidating. He can be as serious as you could possibly imagine, because it's about discipline. It's about discipline on the ship. Riker is great at that. Early Picard is like, you can't even talk to me. I'm in charge of everything. I don't have time for conversations. That breaks down. Eventually it is more like a family. But I wonder, and this is just me wondering, is Captain Pike so nice because if you had him issuing orders and barking out people's last names, it would seem too mean?
No, it wouldn't seem mean at all.
To you,
it would seem like he's the captain of the ship.
To you, but I think the producers on this show, and this is something I say, especially about the Next Generation, I think all of the writers and all of the producers being in therapy. We have so many episodes about confronting one's father. We have so many episodes about, my mother treats me like I'm still a child. Like God, you guys just brought all your therapy to these scripts, and I can get through it. TNG, I can get through it, but I can't stand now where it's like, well, if he's really mean to the navigator, that's him being mean to a girl. Could we not do that?
It's not mean. It's not boot camp. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, it can be done, but I think they're afraid of it. And I think that's why we're in this,
Well, and I think, too, we've come, especially with the way all the, Marvel movies and everything else have gone, everybody wants to be a little bit like Ryan Reynolds. Everybody wants to be funny. Everybody wants to be that. Do you know what I mean?
This is a very funny Captain Pike.
Like I really, I really do kind of miss the Captain Pike with the 70s stereo television in his cabin. But here's what, and I was telling Joe the same thing here is like, if you get someone like that who's in a position of leadership, then you get to explore, where he's tortured, where he's tired. You're damn right I'm tired. Where he has that one confidant on the ship.
Right.
Where he can sort of let it down and be human.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that creates really exciting dynamics in a television series.
I think, guys, what we're really missing in Captain Pike's leadership and the overall mood on the bridge, not even so much a lack of military, but kind of a lack of professionalism.
Well,
I mean, there is a hierarchy.
I think I'm putting military and professionalism.
No, I did that too.
Sort of sentence.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's sort of what you need is a real chain of command. And and Spock got the crap kicked out of him in season 2.
Right.
Like that poor character. Holy cow.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a different dynamic that they want to build in this series, and I understand that, and that's fine. We don't have Chekhov, we don't have Sulu, so we have different people, and that's a way of handling it. I just worry that sometimes by putting so many women into the crew, that the writers or the directors, but mostly the producers, are going, we really can't have him be stern. That means he's emotionally unavailable and intimidating.
But it's not stern, though. That's the thing. It's how things work. And I certainly.
But you hear what I'm saying, Eric, right? You hear what I'm saying is I think these, I'm just going to say it. I think these producers are pussies. I think these producers don't understand, and they're producers, for God's sake. They give orders all the time. They don't say please to the PAs. They don't say to the second assistant director, would that be okay with you? They tell them what to do. But now I feel like they're like, nah, you can't be mean to the girl on navigation. You can't be mean to the girl on communications. You can't be mean to this person or that person. You have to be a dad.
I don't know. You keep saying the word mean, and I don't think it's mean. Like, I don't think professionalism.
That's what they think.
I get what you're saying, but I don't think professionalism is mean. I just,
of course not. Of course it isn't.
No, nobody here does. The three of us. If I understand John correctly, he's saying
I get what you're saying. I'm not saying like I get that. I get what you're saying about how they maybe want to take sort of the edge off it, but I would love to see Pike fucking dress down somebody.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like a captain, like a leader,
like a leader would.
And number one, who is a woman,
and number one, who, and by the way, I think out of all of them, she sort of understands her leadership role the best.
I absolutely agree, and I think she does play it the way Frakes played Riker.
Yeah.
I'm the one who handles the crew. I'm the one who does the disciplining, and that makes sense. That would make sense on any ship of any kind. But I just worry that they've lost the plot. They've lost the idea that there's a pecking order and a hierarchy, because there must be. In order to get results, you must have these things.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, look at it this way.
By one man's decision, right?
Yes, exactly. I'm sorry, Joe. What were you saying?
No, I'm just gonna draw some fire here, possibly, and point out that, hey, we're post Discovery. At least on this ship, we're not hugging and crying all the time.
Oh my God. This is true, but I feel like Spock is this close to tears most of the time.
Oh, they push it, don't they? They
oh my
really
God,
want to push it.
So close. You know what makes, and this is what was so great about the Star Trek movies, particularly. Granted, say what you want about Into Darkness and what they did with Khan and all the rest of it, but Spock's relationship with Uhura in those movies, you absolutely believe it.
Yeah.
From the sense that he's a Vulcan and she's in love with him. Like, there is that, when he is losing his parents, the whole, I forget where the moment comes, but he's up and he's into the elevator, and she like runs up to him, and it doesn't become this, he doesn't like lean into her.
Right.
Like, he stays Vulcan, he stays stoic, but yet everything that's going on behind those eyes. And she played it so great with just, you tell me what you need.
Right.
And is the line, maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but isn't his line is, I need you to do your job.
Yeah.
I just need you to do your job.
Yeah.
And she has the greatest reaction to it, where she just looks at him and goes, of course. Absolutely.
Right.
Like
right.
doesn't push him, like doesn't. And here's the thing. The great thing about that is that if that is your dynamic, right, then you get great lines like with Kirk and Uhura in the turbo lift going up to the bridge, and Kirk goes, "Oh my God, you guys are fighting," and he turns to her and he goes, "Oh my God, what is that like?" Do you know what I mean? But you don't get great lines like that unless your characters are, set up to be the characters they're meant to be.
I feel like, and this is just going back to what you said earlier, Joe, I feel like they really wanted to create an emotional connected crew, and they sacrifice the officialness in order to do that. And in Discovery, I get it. Michael Burnham is this character. Her emotions are just below the surface. They come through a lot. Everything is this grind for her. She has never had an easy life. I got that character, and her relationship with Saru turns into this great, familial love, this great mentor-mentee love. I mean, there's wonderful things that happen in Discovery that I was completely open to. But now that we've got Captain Pike, I'm hoping for the pre-Kirk.
Right.
He was Kirk 1.0. And if they don't do that enough, we don't get that.
Well, and I want to revisit a point of Eric's he just made, and something we were talking about while John was out of the loop, unfortunately. But
I was completely deaf.
I totally agree with Eric's appraisal of the Star Trek reboot movies, as they sometimes call them, the Kelvin universe. The characterizations there are spot on. They are not out of character at all. You believe them within those characterizations, but they are highly emotional moments.
Right.
What have we done in this show so far? And I really hope to be proven wrong as we go forward with season 3. Last season, we turned Spock full human. He becomes an idiot. Right. This season, I predict, unfortunately, the worst episode is going to be, I think it's episode number 8, 4.5 Vulcans. We've seen a clip from this.
Yeah.
Where the others are turned into full Vulcans. They become robots.
Yeah.
I hope it's better than it looks from the clip. But this is the type of thing I'm looking for. I want the characterization, but I want them believable. I don't want them out of character.
Right. And unfortunately, if you're not going to create a whole new show and you're going to go with characters that have already been created and developed and have survived series and movies and everything else, you kind of got to stay true to it. I mean, you do. Otherwise, just create another Next Generation.
Or the Orville.
Or the Orville.
I sometimes feel like modern Trek is much closer to the Orville than the Orville ever was to Trek. And it's not terrible, the Orville, but I always have problems every time I watch it, where it's like, you guys just don't get it. Even though they have a lot of post-Trek talent, they just miss it so much. But anyway, part 2 comes up next week. Not only that, but Joe, they're doing their 2-hour season premiere. So what's number 2? That we're going to
again, I apologize for not having a graphic to spell this out. We'll have that next time we're on air. But yes, Hegemony Part 2. I couldn't even say it that time. Hegemony Part 2. The other episode is called Wedding Bell Blues. I have no idea what it's about. Hopefully we'll know more by next week, but that's part of the fun of a new show. So we get a double header from Paramount Plus.
So they don't die.
No.
The Enterprise lives to see another day?
I believe so. As a matter of fact, I think they've already spoiled the
Well, that
fact that
takes a little
Captain
bit of the
Patel
edge off
doesn't die in the
Cliffhanger.
previews.
That's right. That's right. I
But
mean,
no Game of Thrones, right? No, it's just everybody's
Game of Thrones.
back and they find a way out. Okay, all right.
Just a
But
complete
anyway,
reset.
a doubleheader from Paramount Plus, and of course that means you get a doubleheader
Well,
from us as well.
That also that goes back to when we first came across the Gorn, and like who was fast becoming one of my favorite characters got killed, and I went, oh shit,
Yeah.
people are expendable.
Yeah.
And I went, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That was the cool part of that. I agree.
Because then it was like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, hang on. People aren't safe in this universe.
Right.
And so that I mean, as much as I hated seeing that character go,
Yeah.
it was kind of, it had the effect that they were shooting for.
Well, just like it happened with Tasha Yar so many years ago.
Yeah.
Coming up this coming Sunday, catch me and Joe doing Retro Radio WATT. Retro Radio WATT. We're going to be playing Green Hornet for you, and we're going to give you a little added something, a little nugget of trivia that you can take to all your friends and impress them, because we're going to explain the secret origin of Green Hornet. You can go look it up, but I hope you'll join us and find out.
Be surprised.
Way to go, John. Way to go. Just lost half your viewers.
Next Tuesday is a huge return to the Weber Internet thingy with the great Mr. Flobo Boyce.
All right.
The man who taught me how to do all this, although I don't think he's ever had to deal with the sound going out. But we will be watching. Oh, Eric, do you remember in the movie Spartacus, Woody Strode? He is he's the big buff black guy that Spartacus has to fight in his final battle. He's a big, scary dude. He was also Woody Strode. He was in The Professionals.
Yeah. No. It's the same. I mean, I know it, but now I just want to look up the picture.
He's one of my favorite roles, and Joe's as well, was he was in Kingdom of the Spiders with Bill Shatner.
Oh my God, yes. Right.
So Woody Strode was a professional football player. He was an NFL guy in the late 50s. He was actually some people have said that Woody Strode was the guy who broke the color barrier for the Brooklyn Dodgers. Old men trying to remember things. That's all this show really is. He's the Jackie Robinson of the NFL. That's what I was looking for. So Woody Strode has a great match with Gorgeous George. I'm sorry, every time I look at the graphic that Joe made, it always makes me laugh.
But hardly any modification was needed. That's my point.
But this is a great wrestling match between two tremendous professional wrestlers. And Flobo is going to join me and Joe as we do our second episode of Match Callers that comes up next Tuesday night on July 15th. And is that it? I think that's all.
You got the three upcomings.
I should have been looking at the chat. Raphael knew it was Jackie Robinson I was looking for. All right. So, fellas, thanks very much. We're going to see you for part 2 next week. If you haven't watched the show live and you're still watching, God bless you. You're the best. Join us live, won't you? It's a fun show, and I'm hoping we can really serve a lot of people who want to talk about Strange New Worlds, which is, let's just say it. Commander Joe, is Strange New Worlds a bad show?
No, not at all. It has some bad episodes.
CPO Kramer, is it a bad show, Strange New Worlds?
No, I'm cheering for this show. See, this is the problem, is that you start the minute you start getting a little critical about things, it seems like you don't like it. I sincerely love the actors on it. I'm cheering for that show. I would just,
Yeah.
It's become our business here on this show to fix and repair.
And you know what?
The shows that we review.
And we'll talk more about this as we go forward, but starting next week, including next week, we've got 26 episodes left of this series, which we've recently learned.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. 2 more seasons.
3 more seasons, but an abbreviated 5th. So, yeah. So
Yeah.
we're going to cherish every one of them much as we can.
Absolutely. Folks, thank you so much for being with us here at Strange Old Trekkers. A real challenge on this first one. And my fight with StreamYard gets more and more bloody. They beat the crap out of me this week. Oh, and I never had to use this, but we're gonna be doing some spoilers next week. So this whole series of Strange Old Trekkers is it's hot off the presses. We will be talking to you next Thursday. It will be not even a full 24 hours.
No.
Since that double episode, debuts on Paramount Plus. So be sure to join us if you want to talk about this stuff. Who doesn't? It's just fun. Thank you, Mr. Kramer. Thank you, Mr. Townsend.
Thank you, Captain CPO Kramer.
You got opinions, you can bring them to us. If you really, really like it or are mad enough to cuss, tell the strange old trekkers, strange old trekkers. Tell us what you think, strange old trekkers. Is it great or does it stink? Strange old trekkers on SB80. Strange old trekkers. Share your thoughts even if they're weighty. Tell us what you think. Strange old trekkers. Is it great or does it strange old trekkers on SB80? Strange old trekkers, share your thoughts.